Somewhere in the North Sea, a ship is sailing toward an abandoned oil platform. The ship is enormous, longer than the Empire State Building is tall, wider than a football field is long. By gross tonnage, it is the largest vessel human beings have ever built. And at its front, where every other ship on Earth has a bow, this one has a mouth, a slot, cut straight into the hull, large enough to swallow a building, because that is exactly what it is about to do. In the next few hours, this ship will wrap itself around a 24,000-ton steel platform, grip it, and lift the entire thing out of the ocean. Not in pieces, not over months, all of it. To understand why anyone would build a ship like this, you have to understand a problem. The oil industry spent decades pretending it would never have to solve. Starting in the 1970s, the North Sea filled up with platforms, hundreds of them, each one a steel city standing on legs in some of the roughest water on the planet. They pumped oil and gas for decades, and then, one by one, they began to die. Fields ran dry, steel fatigued. An international law was clear. When a platform stops producing, it cannot simply be abandoned at sea. It has to be removed, all of it. And D, here is the problem. These structures weighed tens of thousands of tons. They were built offshore, piece by piece, module by module, over years. And for decades, the only way to remove one was to run that entire construction process in reverse. Send workers offshore, cut the platform apart with torches, section by section, lift each piece with cranes onto barges, repeat for months, sometimes years, in freezing wind over open water. Every cut and every lift was another chance for something to go wrong. Offshore decommissioning was slow, brutally expensive, and among the most dangerous work in the industry. And there were more than one man had been thinking about this problem since the 1980s. Edward Hirama, a Dutch engineer from a family already famous in offshore construction. His idea sounded absurd. Instead of taking a platform apart at sea, why not remove the entire thing in one single lift and take it apart on land, where the work is fast, cheap, and safe? The economics made perfect sense. The engineering did not, because no crane on Earth could lift 30 or 40,000 tons. Cranes lift from above, hanging loads from cables. To lift an entire platform in one piece, you would need something that could get underneath it. Hirama's answer was not a bigger crane. It was a ship shaped like a tuning fork. Two hulls side by side with a giant slot cut into the bow between them. Sail the ship forward until the platform stands inside the slot, embraced by the two hulls, and then lift, not with a crane, but with the entire ship. For nearly 30 years, the idea stayed on paper. Too big, too expensive, too strange. Then, in 2010, Hirama's company, Alceus, finally signed the contract, and a shipyard in South Korea began building the largest vessel ever ordered. Halfway through construction, the designers made a decision that says everything about this project. They stopped and widened the entire ship by almost 7 meters, just to give the slot more clearance around platform legs. The final cost has been estimated at around $3 billion. The finished vessel was pioneering spirit, 382 meters long, 124 meters wide, a gross tonnage over 400,000, and a displacement fully loaded close to 1 million tons. The slot at its bow reaches 122 meters into the ship and spans 59 meters across, lined with 8 pairs of steel lifting beams that reach inward like fingers. But the size is not the clever part. The clever part is how it lifts. This ship does not use cranes at all. It uses water. Deep inside the hull sit 87 ballast tanks, served by pumps that can move 37,000 cubic meters of water every hour. To lift a platform, the ship first pumps water in, deliberately sinking itself deeper into the sea, sliding its beams underneath the platform's deck. Then it pumps the water out, and as the ship rises, the platform rises with it. The ship itself is the crane. And then comes the most dangerous moment of all, the separation. Waves never stop moving, and even a million-ton ship rises and falls with the swell. If the platform came off its support slowly, the next wave would slam it straight back down, so the ship does the opposite of slow. At the critical moment, special quick-release tanks dump their ballast water almost instantly, and the entire vessel surges upward, snatching the platform clean off its legs in a matter of seconds, faster than the waves can react. In August 2016, off the coast of Norway, Pioneering Spirit performed its first real removal, lifting away a failed 13,500-ton production unit that had been sitting abandoned in the sea. It worked, but the real test came the following spring. Brent Delta, an icon of the British oil industry, a platform that had been producing since the 1970s, standing in 140 meters of water, 186 kilometers off the Shetland coast. Its topside alone weighed 24,200 tons. On April 28, 2017, the ship slid its bow around the platform, gripped it, and lifted the heaviest load. Work that once consumed years of dangerous offshore labor had been compressed into a single motion. And here is the part that often gets missed. Pioneering Spirit is not just a demolition machine. The same trick works in reverse. The ship can carry a brand new platform out to sea and set it down onto its legs in one piece, meaning entire platforms can now be built in factories on land instead of assembled in the middle of the ocean. And between lifts, the ship does something else entirely. It lays pipe. It is one of the most capable pipeline-laying vessels ever constructed, and it has laid hundreds of kilometers of pipe across the bottom of the sea. The North Sea is now entering the largest demolition project in its history. Hundreds of platforms built in the boom years are reaching the end of their lives, and the question of how to remove them has an answer that did not exist a decade ago. Other single-lift vessels will follow, but they will all follow this one. There is a strange poetry in it. For all of human history, we built our biggest ships to carry things across the ocean. Grain, oil, containers, armies. The biggest ship we have ever built does the opposite. It exists to take things out of the ocean, to find the enormous structures we left behind in the sea, wrap itself around them, and quietly carry them home. The largest vessel in human history was not built to deliver anything. It was built to clean up.